I think, certainly this is a good win for our club. I had to kind of go deep in the bag of coaching, coaching in order. I can't remember the last time that I took 3 starters out and I benched them in like the first 2 minutes. We weren't, we just weren't mentally there. And I wanted with Jalen and Charles and CJ, I just wanted to kind of wake them up a little bit. Whether that was it or whether they just kind of did it on their own, I think eventually we started playing better. We started understanding how the game needed to be played, and we just gradually took control of the game. And then down the stretch, I thought we just we played good basketball. We played as a good basketball team should. A lot of different guys, I think had good games. So it's definitely nice to rebound with a good win, a comfortable win over a quality team before going on this long bus ride. That would have been a long trip had we not gotten the win and played as well as we did after a slow start.
Coach, you already mentioned your slow start. You guys shot 39% from the field after the first half, but you came out scorching in the second half, shot 66% from the field, and ended up shooting 50% overall for the game.
I think had we not shot, I think the last 8 minutes or so, we started shooting the ball better in the first half. I think that percentage would have been lower than 39 or whatever it was. That's just an example. We weren't in attack mode. We were taking the first shot available. The ball wasn't moving. If it weren't for Kalu out there, I thought he was the one guy for us that really played at a high level and kind of kept us in it just through sheer work and effort, blocking shots, rebounding the ball. But eventually we started moving the ball and started sharing the ball and letting the offense work and making simple plays. And I think the results of that, you see in the shooting percentages. We've got to understand, what are good shots. And sometimes good shots, aren't shots where you're wide open. Sometimes time score, there's a lot of things that go into a good shot. And if you're constantly taking the first shot available, I think over the years, statistics prove that that's not a great way to shoot a high percentage.
But what does that say about this team and the fact that you say you guys were having all these mental lapses, not executing the way you wanted them to, but still at the end of the first half, you had a 5-point lead and found a way to go into halftime with a lead?
Well, I think, again, gradually we kept getting better and better and better. Finally, we got, from being behind, we got back even, and we kind of just were back and forth, and we were gradually getting control of the game. And then in the second half, we had control of the game and didn't really have any big lulls. We had, Austin making some big plays. Jalen made some big plays. Charles made a couple nice plays. This wasn't one of his best shooting games. In fact, I don't even think he shot very much. CJ had some, but it just collectively, everybody was chipping in a little bit here and there. I think you see in the shooting percentages, the points, the point differential, and I think when you score, your defense is better as well.
Jeff, for those of us we didn't have a chance to see the JMU game, was the first 10 minutes sort of, is that how things were?
No, not at all. Okay. Not at all. The game at James Madison was at a much higher intensity pitch. James Madison, Manhattan plays defense by playing in the passing lanes and doing stuff, and they force a lot of turnovers with their style. But what James Madison does is they get into every ball handler, they contest every pass, and they force you to be tough or you're not going to be successful. And, 21 times we turned the ball over, and then plus, another a handful of times where I just kind of described it as empty possessions, that even though we didn't turn it over, we didn't get great shots. The intensity level of physicality of that game was at a different level than tonight's game at any point.
Was the difference between the two games mostly shot selection?
No. Look, we got some great shots at James Madison. I mean, we were 1 for 15 from three. I guarantee you, half of them were just wide open. Not a hand in the face or anything. Just we just didn't get them to go. So it's not that we didn't get shots. We didn't do a great job at Madison at taking advantage of Kalu inside. I said, he's the best player on the court. They did a better job of taking him away than we did of utilizing him. So tonight we utilized him in that first half. And again, he was a man. Austin really came in, and gave us a lift there as well. But in order for them to do that, it's not just on them. It's on us having the right spacing, recognizing when they're open, and being willing to throw the ball in there.
Coach, how do you think your bench performed tonight? There were some guys who had some slight foul trouble, so Kalu and Mecca had 4 personal fouls. So when those guys came to relieve them, how do you think the bench held up to them?
I thought the bench was outstanding. I mean, I think specifically we're talking about AJ and Austin. We probably just went about 7. Now, when these guys, when I yanked them earlier, some other guys got in there for a minute, but basically we went with 7 tonight, and those guys coming off the bench, and we kind of mixed and matched, but those 2 guys really gave us a big lift.
So Jalen, what were you thinking when you got yanked so early in the game?
I was just ready to come back in, just had to receive the message and just utilize it when I got back onto the court.
Coach Jones, did he give you a message, or did he just?
Yeah, just to let the game come to me and not force anything. Not got to get my teammates involved early, especially early. So that's what when I came back in, that's what I wanted to do.
Jeff, after your team makes 1 of 15 from 3, how important is it to rebound and not basketball rebound, but to come back and have a good shooting night for the psyche, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I would hope that none of our guys, when they saw the 1 for 15 number, or if they shot, if they didn't make one, they were 0 for 3 or 0 for 4, that we didn't all of a sudden start questioning whether we can shoot the basketball. I mean, that would not be a good thing. So it really wasn't on my mind. I don't know about the players themselves. It's not like we talked about it a whole lot, but I do think it certainly doesn't hurt to come back. And, the way Manhattan played, we didn't get a lot of threes up, but, we did shoot a good percentage. At least we were efficient with the ones that we did take. But when you can score, I think it says 40 points in the paint. That's 40 or 44 points in the paint. That's pretty dominant right there. So that's where we won the game. At one point in that first half, when they were pump faking and driving the ball to the lane and giving us difficulty, I just took my little court marker and I just scribbled in the paint, just made it entirely black. I said, that's where the game's going to be won, one way or another. We got to keep them out, and we've got to dominate. And I think as over the course of the game, that clearly was the difference.
You guys were able to shoot 50% from 3, but you held them to 3 of 15, only 20%. How do you feel you guys defended on the perimeter tonight, and was that an emphasis coming into this game?
No, I mean, they're not a good 3-point shooting team. They don't like to shoot the 3. They have one guy that shoots he doesn't even shoot a great percentage, but he shoots a percentage number 4 for them is the guy, and he hit a couple of them, but we said they don't like to shoot it. They're drivers. They like getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line. They like posting up their bigs, and so that was our point of emphasis. is not letting them beat us in the paint, forcing them to shoot the threes. Not that we were giving them, but that's just not what they do well.
Jeff, you said after the Wesleyan game that you want fans to come here and have a good time, you want to play an exciting brand of basketball. I mean, it was pretty exciting. There were some dunks, and although I don't think the crowd was large, it was into it. Thanks to the players going over and doing this. What did you think of the players
These guys love. I mean, you can tell they love the crowd, and you know they're having so much fun with it this year. You know, that's not really my thing, but I don't want to take the fun out of the game for them. So as long as it doesn't detract from their focus, it's great, and they're engaging with the fans. So, but I do think it was another entertaining game. You know, it wasn't 80-something points, but you know we got 79, so we were close to 80. Not very many times when we walked the ball down the floor.
They started implementing kind of a full court press on you guys in the second half. How do you guys feel you adjusted to that? And were you kind of actually licking your chops at that, seeing a bigger opportunity? Because it didn't seem to work after.
We had to obviously watch it on film, and just knowing where they trap and where they're trapping from is obviously important. But that's when it comes down to practice. We should know how to, if we do what we're supposed to do, we should know how to break any press that comes at us. So we did that for the most part. There's a couple mislaps that I can remember, but for the most part, we were able to break their press and get in the offense.
Jalen, pretty easy to notice 18 points, but also only 1 turnover, 6 assists, 3 steals. How much pride do you take in those secondary numbers?
That's what I look at, honestly, first is assists and steals. Those are very important to me. I like my defense to lead into my offense. So once that happens, it makes the game easier for myself and for my teammates. And then obviously my job is to create, and I like to create. I love seeing my teammates score and getting them involved. So those numbers are very appealing to me.
And you passed it to CJ for that dunk, right?
Oh, that's my guy. Yes, of course. Yeah. Yes.
What were you saying about that dunk?
I saw how their press was more, what did you say, front court loaded. So I think I was like, if our play, CJ's supposed to run to the corner, but I was like, you might have a chance to beat him up the floor, and that's exactly what happened. So it worked, to what I said.
You didn't see that coming?
I saw it coming.
No, I'm talking about the dunk.
Oh, I didn't see the dunk coming. I didn't know he could get up like that. I didn't know he could get up like that.
So he hasn't done that in practice?
A couple times, but he brought that almost to his foot, it looked like, so it was good for him.
You guys want the game to be fun, so that was obviously a fun moment in the game. They called a timeout right after that dunk, and then you guys ran over to the crowd and started, waving, pumping the crowd up. I believe Oliver blowing kisses. Kaiser was, flexing, just pumping him up. I didn't see how you were celebrating. What were you doing there?
Just a couple yells, yells and high fives and stuff like that. But I think we're just excited to see the fans again. It was a ghost town. Like, it was very quiet last year. So I think just feeding off of that energy, obviously, with keeping the focus is the most important thing.
Anything else?
Coach, is there an update on Jason Wade? No.
We should welcome Jim to this first press conference.
Yes.
Yes.
Welcome, Jim.
First official one, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that how quasi
Yeah.
with the Wesleyan game?
He's, you're 2-0 with him, by the way.
That fact has not gone unnoticed.
All right.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys.